This will be my final video for 2018. We are going to be talking about my opinion on cryptocurrency's trajectory over the coming year, 2019. We're going to be talking about how crypto affected me in 2018, how it changed my life, and a whole mishmash of other stuff. But we made it. Whoa! So to start off, how did crypto affect my life? For one, I learned a lot. Cryptocurrency, learning about it back in early 2017 kind of led me down a rabbit hole of learning about finance in general, about investing, about emotion regulation. I think might be maybe one of the biggest things. Learning to control your emotions, learning to take a step back and recognize where you are in different situations. So it taught me about that. Also from the investing side, it taught me opportunities of investment. I think technical analysis opened a lot of doors, or at least opened my eyes to a lot of different things. And definitely moving forward, I'm going to continue to apply that and use that when I make decisions and big investments moving forward. But yeah, 2018 overall, the price of cryptocurrency definitely was not a big highlight. It was not a thing people are going to look back and think, wow, 2018 was the year that Bitcoin went mainstream and I made a ton of money. If anything, I don't think Bitcoin's gone mainstream at all yet. Like I've said before, and like many people have said, I think 2017 was maybe the biggest, or the first big taste to mainstream exposure. Again, not many people invested, but at least people got a taste of it in 2017. 2018 really has been just a very prolonged cooling down period. Really the most likely worst part of the bear market, knock on wood. But yeah, I want to spend the rest of the video, the rest of it's already recorded, and this is just me kind of doing the intro. I'm going to be talking about a few different select items to kind of highlight some thoughts and I guess just ideas from 2018. But yeah, it's been a good year. It's been fun making videos for sure. Definitely a year to learn from, if anything. And yeah, I'm excited to see what the future brings. 2019 holds a lot of possibilities. A lot of possibilities in terms of continued mainstream exposure. We've had very little so far, but we have had some. Very light taste, and hopefully, and I do think it'll continue. But yeah, that's it for the intro. Now I'm just gonna play what I recorded earlier today. So we can start off the video with this positive comment here. I'm getting a bit more convinced we can experience a green market next year in 2019. I think there's a lot of room for optimism in the upcoming year. And even if price does stagnate the entire year, which I think is very unlikely, 12 months is a pretty long time, especially given where we currently are 12 months into a bear market. 2 years is an awfully long time. However, if that was the case, that we were stagnating in regards to price for that long, it goes without saying. But yeah, that's an opportunity I would not want to miss out on. It honestly feels like everyone already sold and gave up on crypto. The only people that post now are shillbots and a few of us lunatics that have stuck around. So yeah, everybody watching this video and other cryptocurrency videos still probably fall into that category. I probably fall into that category. So here we have a comment. I'm waiting on words of wisdom from Charlie Lee for 2019. The man has been an oracle, and everything he has said has come true so far. It's actually scary. And I like the comment response here. He's better than Tom Lee, who keeps moving the goalpost, a professional who's actually meant to get this stuff right. If you don't know, Tom Lee from Fundstrat kind of just keeps pushing back when he thinks Bitcoin will reach new all-time highs, just focusing only on the price going up. But I do think it's worth noting that Charlie Lee was definitely spot on. I mean, by this time last year, he had already had his tweet basically saying, don't be surprised if we enter a multi-year bear market. That was over a year ago that he tweeted that. And here we are, fast forward to the end of 2018, very spot on. I don't know if he's necessarily made any other predictions. It does seem when he goes out of his way to make a statement or make an observation, it has come true so far. And here we have a comment from Infamous saying,
"Where's my money?"
Right on. I think that sentiment kind of just perfectly echoes a lot of people's overall thoughts, just kind of general sentiment about the market. Where did it go? Now, this is something a lot of people have been, I guess, debating for a while, and that's kind of whether or not cryptocurrency will follow along with the current stock market. As many of you know, the stock market has kind of been taking a dive, kind of double topped throughout the year. I think the first hop was back in February, then again recently, just a few months ago, and we've kind of been on a downward trajectory in the stock markets, and I think a lot of people are predicting that that's going to continue, and we are officially in a bear market for stocks as well, which in a way I think kind of took a lot of heat off of crypto because people realize that financial institutions in general, or financial instruments in general, are kind of not doing the best right now. But this comment says, we'll see a Great Depression over the next few years. The dollar will devalue and all money will be pumped into cryptos. Buy Bitcoin. And I like this comment here because I kind of agree with it. I used to think that this could be true, that Bitcoin would be a safe haven in times of currency devaluation and global market sell-offs. Then November happened, and pretty much everything sold off. His point here is basically that Bitcoin dropped along with the global markets, along with gold, and it's possible we could be headed towards a global recession. Then this person kind of came back and said, I'm not talking about a simple downturn, I'm talking about the value of the dollar becoming worthless. So that's another way to look at it as well. That would be a fundamental shift that's never really happened before. Dollar and national currencies losing value and actually changing to cryptocurrency, which ultimately is the dream, ultimately is like kind of what we want moving forward. I don't know how close we are to that just yet. And I don't think, if the Dow and everything continues to drop for the next few months, all of a sudden it's going to go right into Bitcoin. If it did, it would probably be a longer process, I think. But I do think ultimately that could be the trajectory we're heading. I think ultimately cryptocurrency is the trajectory we're heading, whether or not it's Bitcoin or Litecoin or whatever these currencies. Ultimately, I do think we need a decentralized system to transact with. This comment here, there's a huge difference between blockchain and cryptocurrency. It seems blockchain is already being used by governments, but not cryptocurrency, as there is no real use case for it now. If they do use blockchain for currency, then they will certainly not be using any of the ones not created by them, such as Bitcoin, Litecoin, Monero, etc. Again, if they have a choice, I think that might be true. However, if they do not have a choice, that would be the only way that would not be the case. And I think we don't know the conditions yet to really determine or what will dictate if they will have a choice. Again, if a huge market collapse is imminent, we'll have to see how that whole thing plays out. Remember, Bitcoin was kind of created as an answer to the last global recession in 2008. So again, I don't know if it's hard to judge right now, like what path we're headed. The comment here is it will be used by government-backed stablecoins to replace cash so all transactions can be traced. One thing I definitely do think is the case, though, that cryptocurrency will be seen as stronger and stronger and more reliable, and that's a sentiment that I don't think has really reached even most people in this space, let alone the people that aren't invested in cryptocurrency. I think people will start to realize just how weak the dollar is, for example, and look for alternatives. And by that point, hopefully Bitcoin is robust and technologically sound enough for it to be that alternative. I think the user interface definitely has a lot of work to go. That's probably the biggest thing. For example, I think this is a really good example. iPhones. The technology is good. However, there are phones that are essentially just as good as iPhones now. However, because of the platform and the aesthetic that Apple and iPhone have created, they remain on top because they're seen as kind of just like the go-to. Like, why have a Samsung or something when you could have an iPhone? It's not necessarily anymore because the technology is vastly different. It's mainly because they've built a name, they have a certain user interface, and it just works, and people kind of gravitate to it naturally. It kind of won, as of right now, kind of like how Facebook beat MySpace and stuff like that. I think that ultimately cryptocurrency will be that successor. Again, which cryptocurrency it'll be, right now, I mean, there's no other winner besides Bitcoin. However, who knows if that'll change in the future. And as well, we need that smooth user interface that, for example, iPhone or Facebook has, or Apple or Facebook. Something that people can keep coming back to, something people really get addicted to, something people feel comfortable with, enjoy using, and prefer it. Happened with Facebook, happened with the iPhone, and ultimately, whichever cryptocurrency succeeds, it will need to be that, one that does that. You guys are about to witness history repeat itself. It may not be as big as last year's bull run, but an actual bull run is approaching, boys. Boys, expect this rally to continue with slight pullbacks until the end of the year and watch the momentum carry on throughout January 2019. Things are going to start looking much better. We will rejoice and bears will finally get tired. We're getting there, just hang in there. I don't really agree with that post, but I like posts that are so optimistic at this point. First comment, Moon. Second comment, isn't this the skeptics thread? But again, it could really happen at any time, and that's kind of the point. We could really start popping off to the moon at any point. And really, I think a good question, what are you guys buying now that the market is in the green? Are you buying altcoins? Are you just stacking up Bitcoin because it's so much cheaper than it was? I mean, really, everything is super cheap. You can buy dozens and dozens of Litecoin for relatively cheap. You can buy hundreds and hundreds of other cheap hot alts. But yeah, I'm curious what you guys are doing. I haven't seen a lot of comments on my videos or the people that I watch either. I don't really see comments on their videos of people kind of saying what they're buying. And I don't even really see too many people saying they are buying. Do you personally think we have a long way to go? Do you personally think that we've hit the bottom and we're just going to trade here for a little bit before going up? Or do you think we could, start the next rally any day now? I guess I can kind of share my plan, which is just to, I definitely want to keep buying Litecoin because I get that question asked a lot. Do I still like Litecoin? Yes. I think when the next bull run comes around, Litecoin's going to be a really good contender. The thing is, kind of every cryptocurrency has a little bit of sour taste to their names right now. There's not really one cryptocurrency you can look at and be like, this is like the number one investment. Just because the space is so temporarily boring, I guess, just because of the prices, and people see it. People just aren't overly excited about any in particular cryptocurrency, which is the exact opposite of what we saw exactly 365 days ago, where every single cryptocurrency kind of had a lot of hype to its name. Pretty much every cryptocurrency in the top 100 people were hype about. People were excited because the prices were going up like 15-20% every day. So it's understandable why people were deciding like, hey, this technology is actually crazy good. You can back it up with the fact that the price has gone up 50% in 3 days. Whereas now the entire market is suffering so much, it's hard to look at any one cryptocurrency and ultimately like be super confident in it in the short term. Long term, definitely. So yeah, Litecoin, Bitcoin, and there are many other alts that I definitely want to get more of, get my hands on before we enter a bull run. So yeah guys, thank you for watching. If you're new to the channel, make sure to leave a like and subscribe, and I will see you in 2019.